Number 9. The Transformers lore. Now, the first movie, Transformers, isn't quite as hated. It's not good per se, it just played its cards in a way where it was nostalgic for fans, and so that non-fans could enjoy it all on their own. But then came the sequels, and that's where grown men started to cry because their childhood was once again ruined. And one reason why that people seem to notice the least is how the movies have messed up the Transformers lore. Now, to be fair, Bay did, to his credit, add a couple of new things to the lore, such as giving us a Cybertronian language. But that doesn't really make up for what happens to the lore as a whole through these films. Part of that comes from how we know very little about the all-around culture of the Transformers from these films. More often than not, whatever they do give us is just something that could destroy the world. Now, that's not to say that there shouldn't be anything like the Harvester or the Allspark that could be used to destroy, but by the time we get the third movie and the whole thing is just over a space bridge...
The Decepticons must never know the space bridge is here, for in their hands, it would mean the end of your world.
However did you come up with that ingeniously woven, intricate plotline?
And then you have the importance of the matrix of leadership all jumbled up. Now, for those of you who do not know what the Matrix is outside of Bay's films, here's the basic gist of it. The Matrix of Leadership, or the Creation Matrix, originated from the animated movie as an artifact of great power that was created by Primus, the creation god, if you will, of the Transformers. It has since become the center of Autobot religion with its ability to create new Transformers, communicate with deceased leaders, and is sometimes a super weapon for problems like Unicron. It also determines who becomes the next Prime when the current one dies. And with all that in mind, this is what the live-action movies do with the Matrix of Leadership. First off, the first movie declares that the big ancient artifact of power that is important to the Transformers is actually a big cube called the Allspark, which is actually the name of the Transformers' afterlife. Then we get the second movie, where we actually do get the Matrix of Leadership, only to find it to be the source of power to energize the Harvester in order to create Energon. In other words, it's basically just a battery. Yes, that may seem a little too harsh, but when you really get down to it, Jetfire more or less says that it's meant to just power up the Harvester and nothing else.
But it's an energy like no other.
Okay, you can give it the name and sing Casting Crowns songs to it all you like, it's still just a battery. Now, at the end of Revenge of the Fallen, Optimus destroys the Harvester with the Matrix clearly inside. So naturally, I thought it proved how little Bay and the writers care about its importance. But, surprisingly enough, the third movie revealed that the Matrix did survive, and all of a sudden is now in its rightful position as being the most powerful thing that Optimus Prime has to wield. This was welcoming at first, even though it clearly was destroyed in the previous film, but then it got me thinking. The Autobots in reality could be just treating it with so much respect just because the Allspark is destroyed and they don't really have anything else to look up to. The most important thing for them is gone, so they just have some ancient battery to take its place because, well, that's all they have. So in reality, that really kills the purpose of bringing it back at all. Sentinel especially should have made a thing about this. I mean, come on! He wakes up after millions of years out of commission, only to find out that the most powerful thing is destroyed just to kill Megatron, who ironically is resurrected using a shard of the same darn thing, and now all of the Autobots are creating some new religion out of an artifact that's meant to be just a battery, and he's completely okay with this? So to recap, not only was the Matrix of Leadership replaced from basically being the most important, powerful artifact in all of Cybertron in the first movie, but then it appeared in the second film to basically be just a praiseworthy battery of sorts, and then is treated the way it should be in the third film, but the move comes too little too late when you compare it to the films altogether. I don't know why people haven't really noticed this, but man, this is one screw-up that I personally feel should be addressed more often than not.